Blue in a stunner. Here he is after the loss in the Pacific Northwest. Coach making his way to the podium.
We had a really difficult day, obviously. Boy, nothing worked out the way we had wanted to other than the first couple of drives. And then after that, we just weren't able to do enough to have a chance to win the game. And it didn't matter kind of what phase we were in. We just weren't good enough today. And we were ready to play and jacked up and all that. And then it turns out like that. It's just really a surprise. And we could talk about this, and you guys can ask your questions and stuff. But really, our focus is gone on that game because there wasn't going to be on this game after we got in this locker room anyway. With the game coming up next week, but everything's comes down to the final week of the season. We're fortunate that we have a chance to play for a division this late in the year, and what's important for us is to turn and be disciplined about this so that we can turn our focus to that week and not be affected by what just happened. We're going to do that really well, and we've already started, and the mentality has to go to getting on. There's nothing we can do about this thing. It was so many things that just weren't right for us today, so that's kind of what it is. You can ask about guys about the game and stuff like that, but I ain't got much for you. But we did get both our running backs banged up today, and Chris and CJ both got hurt, and they will miss next. They're out. So we got to get to scrambling. Johnny's got to get to work and figure out what we're doing next. There's a lot of game for Homer to have to play by himself, so we obviously will make some moves here and figure some stuff out. Yes.
What is Dwayne Brown's situation?
He needs to get his knee fixed. He tried like crazy to get through it this week and just couldn't. He did everything he could during the week and couldn't get it to quiet down. And he just needs to get his knee cleaned up. It's not a major surgery, but it's the discomfort is just he can't play. So he's going to get operated on tomorrow.
Are you expecting both running backs to be out further than next week?
Yes.
Going with Jamarco, I guess, is that kind of the long-term plan then?
Well, as it was the plan this week, and we were kind of holding out hope that Dwayne might, he's been able to shake it and be ready to come back at the end of the week, and he didn't make it, and so that just turned us to the next circumstances, and he just needs to get fixed up. So we declared that like on Saturday or Friday or something like that, and that Jamarco would be the next guy up, so that we can keep George in his role and do that. Well, we'll figure it out next week. I can't tell you what's going to happen.
Seahawks injury ravaged, as you heard from Coach Carroll. Here's Dak Prescott.
And Cooper weren't on the field in that situation.
Yeah, I mean, man to man. I had one of our best receivers, Michael Gallup, one-on-one, and took that shot at it. I had an opportunity. I just didn't make the play. Got to do a better job on both of our ends in right there to make that play happen.
Did your shoulder affect you?
Not at all. Not at all.
At what point did you know it wasn't an issue?
The beginning of the game. Trusted the doctors, myself, went through the process and went and warmed up and knew I was able to go.
What disappoints you the most about the performance today, given the opportunity?
Yeah, we didn't get it done. We're too talented of a team and individuals to not make the plays, starting with myself. And it's disappointing, it's frustrating, but we all take responsibility. And as I said, it begins with me, and we're too talented, and we just didn't execute the way that we're capable of doing, and they did.
How did not getting a running game going, especially in the first half, affect the entire offense?
Yeah, it definitely did. Always does. When you can't run, especially this offense, the way we want to run and dictate how the game's going to be played, it's frustrating. And you have to throw the ball a lot. And anytime you make any team in the league one-dimensional, you're giving yourself a better chance. And they did that. They had a good plan, and we weren't able to capitalize on the opportunities that we had.
You said the shoulder did impact you, but you seem to stay a little bit more than you normally did. And then to also talk about that play to Austin where you had him in that final possession.
Yeah, I mean, I missed some throws. I mean, I can't say I had pain or felt it in my shoulder. Could be maybe a lack of reps this week. Who knows? Excuse me. But yeah, wasn't my shoulder. Wasn't anything I was feeling. Felt great.
You had more incompletions throwing to Amari today than you've had in any games that you've been together. How do you explain what happened?
Yeah, I don't. I'm good.
In your eye?
Yeah. Trust me, I'm not crying yet. But yeah, I mean, I don't I don't know. I can't answer that necessarily. If I could, we would have fixed it right then in that first quarter. As I said, they had a good plan. They made some plays, made it tough on us, and we just didn't get it done.
How do you feel about where you stand now? Sub 500 and
Yeah.
I hope they lose next week.
Frustrating. I've sat here after every game pretty much, win or loss, and said the good part about it is that we control our own destiny, and that's gone. That's out of our hands now, and that's unfortunate. It's very disappointing because we had the chance, right? We had the chance to control our destiny and be where we wanted to be. But now that it's out of our hands, we've got to control what we can control, and that's getting the win next week. Yeah, excuse me.
This was the
A little gallows humor there for Dak on the eye, not crying yet. Elation on the other side for Carson Wentz. Here he is live on SportsCenter.
Like we've said the last few weeks, our backs were against the wall, and guys made plays. Defense played great. Offensively, we definitely left some plays and some points out there, but man, it feels good to get this victory.
Carson, Doug called it a playoff game tonight. You said you want to play in big games like this late in the season. How'd it feel to be out there and then play so well?
Yeah, it felt great. I mean, it felt great to be out there with my guys again. And like I said, that playoff atmosphere, you can't beat it. You can't beat it, especially being at home here. The fans were awesome tonight. Guys made plays, but at the end of the day, we still got one more.
Carson, seems for the second consecutive week you had some tempo to get you guys going offensively. How much is that helping you?
It's helping quite a bit. I mean, you see it, there's evidence, obviously, that it is helping us. And I think that's one thing that Coach, I've said it before, but he just has a really good feel for when to utilize it. When to utilize it, whether, that he feels the defense is they're on the ropes, or if we're just, we're moving the ball, whatever it takes. But Coach has a really good sense of when to do that and when not to.
Carson, the long pass to Greg that you mentioned, the Miles touchdown. Has that play been in the playbook a while? It's felt like we've seen that route combo from you guys before.
Yeah, it was sweet to be able to do it at the line. At the line of scrimmage, got that linebacker out there in space and played with his eyes a little bit. And obviously, Greg came wide open down the sideline, did a great job. That was a big play for us.
Carson,
with all these young guys that are growing up at this time with you, working with them, it seems like everything's coming together. I'm
so proud of these guys. I'm so proud of them. It's been really fun. Obviously we've had our backs against the wall for a while now, and you can see the sense of belief that each of these guys have, and you see it each week with them getting better and better, and believing in themselves and believing in this team. And I can't say enough good things about these young guys that are continually stepping up for us, and we're going to need these guys down the stretch.
Zach got banged up early in the game, and Dallas stepped up. He had career high in receptions and yards. Can you talk about that, and how nice is it to have two tight ends like that in your arsenal?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, to have really even three, Josh Perkins, I don't know what he had for catches, if any, tonight, but, he's a weapon that we feel we can take advantage of as well. I feel terrible that Zach, got banged up. I did that to him. I owe him something now. But, we've had Dallas even last year. We know what he can do. We know what he can do. And, he stepped up and made a bunch of big plays for us tonight, and he's a competitor for us.
Carson, what about the way the coaches have kind of tailored?
All right, so again, if the Eagles win next week on the road against the Giants, they win the division. If they lose and the Cowboys go home and beat Washington, then the Cowboys win the division. So, gentlemen, based on what you saw today and where these teams play next week and who wins this division?
You go first.
We'll just flip a coin here?
I'm going Eagles. Listen, they're hot, man. I mean, look, at the end of the day, they beat the team that I thought was ultimately going to win it, and whatever, irrespective of what happens with Dallas, I think the Eagles handle their own business next week, and they end up getting the win. So the Eagles are going to be the division champs.
I agree, actually. I mean, the truth, this was the game.
Yeah,
and
this is it.
I think both teams could win next week, but because of what happened this week, that obviously favors the Philadelphia Eagles. And I also think that as you look at the Dallas Cowboys, can you trust that, they would run the ball the way we would think that they would want to run the ball? Or they would come out with some type of energy.
Going forward?
Yeah, or come out with some energy and some purpose the way you would think you would play in a big division game.
Yeah.
So those are the final thoughts on that game. Your final thoughts overall from what was a very interesting Week 16, what do you think?
I'm going to go Saints. Starting slow at Tennessee, down 14, outside. All the awards that they broke last week, and you felt like it was going to be a lull, and then they just turned it on and came back and ultimately got that win. I think it just shows you the maturation of that team. Hats off to Michael Thomas, man. Can't guard Mike for real. Set a new NFL record, and the plays he does it on, he's just incredible. And Drew Brees, you can't say enough good things about those guys, but that was the most impressive thing that I saw today.
Mine surrounds the Ravens.
Okay.
The initial question when we saw Lamar Jackson was, will this work in the NFL and for how long? And, I always felt like it could at least work a season. I wasn't sure if it could work 3 seasons or 5 seasons. I don't feel like it can work for 10. However, it's been 1 season. He has absolutely dominated this league, and he doesn't have to play next week. And then they're going to have a bye week. And so if the concern has been, all right, well, can he be healthy? And they're going to run their quarterback. They were running him late in the game today when the game was in hand.
That's who they are.
Okay, that's who they are. He's healthy. He's going to get a chance to rest. And then at that point, he wins 2 games. He's in the Super Bowl. The Ravens, I think, end up playing in the Super Bowl, doing it their way, which a lot of people, myself included, were a little bit skeptical about.
36 touchdowns on the season. That ties the franchise record. Only 6 interceptions for Lamar Jackson. Tim, Jeff, appreciate the time as always. But again, it's so huge what happened today because we got 1 more week, but the playoff implications are still in play for next week. Here's how we're going to leave you with this right now. 5 of the 6 NFC playoff teams are locked in. Cowboys, Eagles, of course, still battling for the NFC East. And there's still lots of seeding at stake, though, as no team has secured a first-round bye as of yet. Little sample in the AFC where the Ravens have home field advantage locked up. The big race is for the 6th seed, which the Titans can clinch with the win next week in Houston. But the Steelers, Colts, and Raiders all remain alive for that last spot. Again, last week of the season, so much intrigue on so many games, and we'll have them all for you when we wrap up Week 17 next week here on SportsCenter.
Even